Hi, I'm Lily. Have you ever imagined waking up one day to find everything you knew, yourself, your family, your future, gone? That was my reality. What seemed like the end became the beginning of a journey from brokenness to strength. Stay with me as I share how I found my way back. At 16, I was on top of the world, the golden child destined for greatness. Gymnastics was my life. I was on track to be the next big thing, and my little brother Henry was my biggest fan. He was always there, front row at every meet, cheering louder than anyone. "You're going to be in the Olympics one day," he'd say, his face lit up with pride. I'd grin and ruffle his hair. "Only if you're there cheering me on, squirt." Our parents were my biggest supporters, too, already dreaming of trips to watch me compete on the world stage. Life was perfect, or so I thought. Then came the night that changed everything. We were driving home from a late practice, Dad at the wheel, Mom going over my competition schedule. "With Lily's talent, we need to invest more in her training," she said. "Anything for our future champion," Dad replied. Bright lights flooded the car. A scream. The world spinning. And then nothing. I woke up in a hospital bed, the steady beep of machines my only company. I tried to move my legs, and panic set in when I couldn't. The doctor's words hit like a sledgehammer. "Lily, I'm sorry. The accident caused severe spinal cord damage. You're paralyzed from the waist down." At first, my parents tried to be supportive. Mom would brush my hair. Dad would read to me like he did when I was little. But I saw the cracks forming, the whispered arguments in the hallway, the exhaustion in their eyes. One night, thinking I was asleep, I overheard them. "We can't afford this, John," Mom said, her voice tight. "The medical bills, the equipment, the therapy. What do you suggest we do, Sarah? She's our daughter." "I know, but what about Henry? We can't let this ruin his future, too." Their words cut deeper than any injury ever could. A few days later, the Willows, old family friends, visited. Mrs. Willow sat by my bed, her voice syrupy sweet. "Lily dear, we've been thinking. Why don't you come stay with us for a while? Just until things settle down." I looked at my parents, expecting them to refuse. Instead, I saw relief flood their faces. "It might be for the best, honey," Mom said, not meeting my eyes. "The Willows have a ground floor guest room, and Mrs. Willow used to be a nurse." "But what about Henry? What about my therapy?" I stammered. Dad patted my hand awkwardly. "Henry will visit, of course, and we'll make sure you get the best care. It's just temporary until we figure things out." Temporary. The word echoed in my head as they packed my things. But I knew the truth. I wasn't going home. I was being sent away. Out of sight, out of mind. As the Willows' car pulled out of the driveway, I caught one last glimpse of Henry's confused face in the window, his small hand waving goodbye. Life with the Willows wasn't bad. They were kind enough. Mrs. Willow helped me with my exercises, though her smile never quite reached her eyes. Mr. Willow's jokes felt forced, his laughter hollow. I was a charity case, and we all knew it. My parents visited less and less, and when they did, the air was heavy with awkwardness. "So how's school?" Dad would ask, as if I wasn't stuck doing online classes from a borrowed bedroom. "Fine," I'd reply, waiting for the questions that mattered. "When can I come home? Do you miss me?" But they never came. Henry tagged along sometimes, his wide eyes searching mine. "When are you coming back, Lily?" He'd whisper when no one was listening. "Soon," I'd lie, my heart breaking a little more each time. One sleepless night, I made the mistake of scrolling through social media. There it was, the photo of my family smiling in our backyard. "Perfect summer day with the fam," Mom's caption read. The fam, as if I didn't exist. The real gut punch came a week later. A video popped up of Henry, wobbling in a leotard as he attempted an awkward cartwheel. The caption made my blood run cold. "Looks like we've got another gymnast in the family." I stared at the screen, disbelief giving way to anger, then heartbreak. My chest tightened as I hurled the phone across the room. Tears streamed down my face. They weren't just moving on without me. They were replacing me. That's when David entered my life. My new physical therapist was young, with kind eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. He didn't tiptoe around me or treat me like I was fragile. "Come on, Lily," he'd say, his tone firm yet encouraging. "I know you've got more fight in you than that." For the first time since the accident, someone truly saw me, not just the wheelchair. Why do you care so much? I snapped one day after a particularly grueling session. David knelt, meeting my eyes. Because I see the fire in you, Lily. You're not done yet. Not by a long shot. His words lit a spark in me. Maybe I wasn't done. Maybe my future wasn't gone, just different. But reality had other plans. One evening, I overheard the Willows talking in hushed tones. Jeanne called today, Mr. Willows said. They want to make the arrangement permanent. My heart stopped. Permanent? Mrs. Willows sighed. I had a feeling. Did they say why? Something about Henry's future, private school, gymnastics training. They can't afford it all, especially with Lily's medical bills. Poor girl, Mrs. Willow murmured. Do you think she suspects? Doubtful. They've done a good job keeping up appearances. I wheeled myself back to my room, my mind reeling. It wasn't just neglect or forgetfulness. They had actively chosen to abandon me. The next day during therapy, David noticed my distraction. What's going on in that head of yours, Lily? At first, I hesitated. Then the words poured out. The overheard conversation, the social media posts, the growing certainty that I'd been discarded. David listened intently, his face darkening with every word. When I finished, he was quiet for a moment before speaking, his voice low and intense. What they're doing isn't okay. It's not legal, and it sure as hell isn't right. What can I do? I whispered, feeling powerless. David's eyes locked on mine, filled with determination. We fight. We show them that discarding you was the biggest mistake of their lives. Something shifted inside me. The pain didn't go away, but now it was fuel, a fire. Okay, I said, my voice steady and strong. Let's fight. From that moment on, I attacked my therapy with relentless determination. Hours of grueling exercises, sweat dripping, muscles screaming. But I refused to stop. Holy crap, Lily, David exclaimed one day. You just doubled your last lift. I grinned, a fierce joy bubbling up inside me. What's next? David introduced me to wheelchair basketball. The first time I sank a basket from half court, the rush was indescribable. Soon I was playing competitively, and my teammates became the family I thought I'd lost. After a brutal game one evening, a woman approached me. Lily, I'm your Aunt Violet, she said, her voice trembling with emotion. I vaguely remembered her. Mom's estranged sister. Her eyes brimmed with anger and sadness. I just found out what they did to you. It's unforgivable. Over coffee, Violet revealed she was a lawyer. What they're doing isn't just morally wrong, it's illegal. They're still your legal guardians, collecting disability benefits in your name while neglecting your care. My blood boiled. They're profiting off me. Violet nodded grimly. I've been digging. There's evidence of financial fraud, medical neglect. We can fight this, Lily. For the first time, I saw a way to reclaim my life. With Violet's help, we gathered evidence, building a case against my parents. Meanwhile, my basketball skills were gaining attention. After one particularly intense game, a scout approached me. Kid, you've got serious talent. How'd you like to try out for the Paralympic team? My head spun. The Paralympics? Me? As my world began to expand, my parents' world was about to implode. Violet and I had everything we needed for the lawsuit. Are you ready for this? Violet asked, holding the papers in her hand. I took a deep breath, thinking about everything I'd been through and everything I'd achieved. More than ready. It's time they faced the consequences. We drove to my old house. My heart pounded as we pulled up. Henry was in the front yard. He froze, his eyes wide. Lily, he whispered, then louder. Mom. Dad. Lily's here. My parents rushed out, their faces a mix of shock and forced cheer. Sweetheart, Mom exclaimed, moving to hug me. I wheeled back, my voice cold. Don't. You lost the right to call me that when you threw me away. Dad stepped forward, palms up. Lily, you know it wasn't like that. Wasn't it? I shot back. I thrust the papers at them, then explained this. They read in silence, the color draining from their faces. Mom stammered, trying to form excuses. Dad looked like he was ready to bolt. Save it, I snapped. You have 24 hours to come clean, or we're taking this to court. And trust me, you don't want that publicity. Henry looked between us, his expression a mix of confusion and fear. Lily, what's going on? My heart ached for him, but he deserved the truth. I'm sorry, Henry, but it's time you knew what our parents really did. As we drove away, leaving my stunned family behind, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. The road ahead wouldn't be easy, but for the first time in years, I was in control. You did it, Lily, Violet said, squeezing my hand. I nodded, a fierce smile spreading across my face. They thought they could break me. Instead, they made me unbreakable. Months later, the crowd roared as I sank the winning shot, clinching our spot in the Paralympic finals. As my teammates celebrated, I spotted them in the stands, my parents, trying to blend in, and Henry, now lanky and awkward, his eyes wide with awe. After the game, they approached me hesitantly. Mom's smile was forced. Dad avoided my gaze. Lily, honey, we're so proud of you, Mom said. I cut her off. Save it. You don't get to be proud now. Dad tried next. We've realized our mistake. We want to make things right. I laughed bitterly. Right? You abandoned me, stole from me, replaced me. There's no making that right. Henry stepped forward, his voice cracking. I'm sorry, Lily. I didn't understand back then. My heart softened for him, but I stayed firm. I know, Henry, but it doesn't change what happened. Violet appeared at my side, all business. I assume you've seen the lawsuit papers? My parents paled. The story had already broken. Loving parents abandon paralyzed daughter, embezzle her disability funds. Their carefully crafted image was in ruins. We can explain, Dad started. To the judge, Violet interrupted. See you in court. As they slunk away, I felt a mix of satisfaction and sadness. They'd chosen this path, not me. The trial was brutal, every lie exposed, every betrayal laid bare. In the end, justice was served. My parents faced hefty fines and community service. Their social standing was obliterated. But I didn't dwell on their downfall. I had a life to live. Months later, I stood on the podium, a gold medal around my neck. The national anthem played as I scanned the cheering crowd. I spotted the faces that mattered. Violet, beaming with pride. David, whooping like a madman. My teammates, my true family. At the after-party, David pulled me aside. Lily, I've got news. The national team wants you. You're going to the Paralympics. I was speechless. All the hard work, all the pain, it had led to this moment. As we celebrated, I noticed my biological family watching from across the room. They'd come probably hoping for forgiveness or a chance to bask in my success. But they were strangers now, a cautionary tale of what happens when you discard someone as if they're worthless. My journey isn't just my own. It's a conversation. If you were in my shoes, would you ever forgive a family that abandoned you? Or are some betrayals too deep for reconciliation? Let's talk.